Yo, I'm K Kurt, that's Marcus Bronzy. Examples in the building. We just had a little chat about him having a perfect life. But it didn't record.
Yeah. He's got this. Do you know what?
I don't realise the kerfuffle that's just happened.
Should we just say, I'm sweating, bruv, because everything that could have gone wrong today has gone wrong.
Yeah,
but you know what?
We're all here. We're happy. We're alive. We're all alive.
Bruv, you got a glow, you know. Sorry, I just got to jump around that example. You fucking glowing, bruv. Look at this guy, man.
Yeah.
Got the bonsai glow.
Bonsai? I think it's Bondi.
Bondi glow, even.
Bonsai's a small tree.
I've got to set the levels because this show's called Ain't Got a Clue. That's what it is in my ignorance. Yeah. Welcome to the show, though, bruv.
Thanks for having me, finally.
But I was saying, you've got like the perfect life. So you're here for like 30 days a year and then you fuck off and live in the sunshine.
Yeah,
Sweet.
so I live in Brisbane, which is where my kids go to school. My kids are 8 and 5, 2 little boys. They go to school there. It's great because I've got a nice big house in Brisbane. Like, to give you an idea, Brisbane's like everyone knows Sydney and Melbourne.
It's like white person's Dubai.
Yeah. Sydney and Melbourne are they're not a bit behind England, but there's a bit more culture, a bit more of a mix. There's a bit more art, a bit more fashion.
That means there's like one museum.
Yeah, but Brisbane is a very safe, sleepy place to live. You know, it's a really beautiful city, fully functioning city, loads of fun things to do, but there's no traffic, and you can always get a parking space, and everyone's very friendly.
Yeah, that sounds perfect.
I miss the culture of England. I miss the sense of humour. I miss like the music and the art and the fashion and just like.
How long before you're here though, where you go, fuck this? How long does it take you like to get like when you're here?
Usually
and
3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Like when I'm in England, in London, when I'm in London, UK, whatever, in like between June and September, UK summer is the best place to be in the world, I reckon. Like,
really?
Whether it's like pubs and parks or barbecues or backs at festivals or just go around and sit in someone's garden and whatever and like play some music. It's just there's
whatever
nothing.
means do drugs, by the way.
Yeah. There's nothing like it. There's nothing quite like it.
Yeah.
Whereas England, London in the cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the cold, it's fucking... Bruv, you know what I don't like about it in the cold?
One of the worst places in the world.
Well, yeah, bruv. It's horrible. In the sun, it's fucking fantastic, London, yeah, but when it's flipping shit weather, bruv, I feel like it's one of the most depressing places to be. But in Australia, it's just hot all the time, isn't it? It's just nice all the time.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, Melbourne gets a bit cold because you've got that southern Arctic, that pressure coming up. So
how cold is the cold though?
Like Melbourne, you could be wearing a t-shirt during the day, like 30 degrees, and there's 2 degrees at night. It's a bit mad.
Right,
but
cold.
Brisbane's the lowest it gets in Brisbane's maybe like 18, and then from like November till March is pretty much like 27, 28 every day.
Yeah. Do you miss anything in the UK, like food-wise and stuff? Like, because
you can't get a good curry in Oz anywhere. Really? Nah, you can't for some reason. I don't know why. Like they do have like Indian people there, and Bangladeshi people, and Sri Lankan people, and Pakistani people there, but you just can't really. You don't really get any good curry for some reason. I don't know.
I don't even know what an Australian dish is. Like, what's one of the like? This is
Australia's got a big like Greek and Italian community, so like they'd probably claim a Greek or Italian dish maybe as a national thing. The pavlova for some reason.
Pavlova?
Yeah, pavlova, the Russian ballet dancer. She went to Australia and did a tour, and some famous chefs made the pavlova, and Australians claim that.
Naturalova?
Naturalova, yeah, that's all over.
Do they have good curry when the cricket comes along?
No, you don't. Seriously, like all the Asians I think who moved to Australia didn't bring their grandma's recipes with them.
Yeah.
And I'm really disappointed in them. So the first thing I usually do when I come back here is get a good curry in.
Really?
Yeah, because it's one of the main things you miss.
What's the spot? Do you have a spot you like to go to, little Brick Lane vibes or?
There's always some spots down Brick Lane, but I don't really, because I live in Fulham, I don't really go east
He looked
much.
at me once and was like, yeah, you know the best place to get kebab kid.
Yeah, you know about kebab kid.
Yeah, man. Yeah, bruv. You know,
I was like,
I'm
telling
Western,
the Middle Eastern guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, kebab. I went there. I was like, this ain't all that. Like, I was like, I can find 10 places better than this, bro. Have you been to Snow?
Mate, there's a picture of Jamie Oliver in the window, though.
Oh, wow.
And Jamie Oliver says it's the best shawarma.
Tubbsy and Hyder basically said, fuck that guy.
Really?
Yeah, like
with their chest.
Like with their chest.
We didn't even unpack that because me and Kate heard that and we were like, whoa.
Yeah, they were just like, no, fuck that guy, bro. That's why all these restaurants are closed down. He's only got one left. And we were like, okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Shots fired.
But they were like, they said,
did
Ramsey
Jamie Oliver hear it? Did he get something?
We're waiting for the return.
I'll be real with you. I don't think Jamie Oliver listens to this podcast, bro.
That's a shame. I'm going to see him at the big festival. I'm playing his festival, so I'll be sure to tell him that.
So you're bridges with him?
The Tubbsy and Hyder are not fans. And maybe it'll rock him for the day and ruin his weekend.
They're massive fans of Gordon Ramsay, though.
Okay.
Yeah, apparently, Gordon Ramsay's like, you know, they could call him uncle because they said that
he's Zoo's uncle
Big
now.
Zoo's uncle. He's Big Zoo's uncle now.
Do you mentor anyone like that?
We've already covered so much in 4 minutes.
Yeah, does anybody call you like their uncle? Do you mentor any UK artists, or do you think they're all shit? Because I know that
that is a loaded question, Kay.
There's a lot of shit about.
Thank God someone said it.
I mean, look, I don't really care how people like judge my music or whatever. I'm still here. I've been doing this 16, 17 years, so fuck you, all of you.
Yeah, so when we're looking
I might not be a better rapper or a better singer or a better producer, but I write really good songs, and I'm definitely a better performer than most people. Yeah.
When you started, I remember you as like on Game Over.
I've got this really cocky energy from him, by the way. I
love it. I like when people talk their shit.
All right.
Do you know why?
As long as we edit this nicely, so I don't come across
you absolutely have no risk of coming across like a prick when you're in a room with me and Kay.
Okay.
Yeah, you are absolutely fine, bro. I just want to say you could bring your most obnoxious self to the party. Everyone will be like, quite a pleasant guy, you know? Yeah.
Because
we'll amp up our prickiness.
Okay. I'm really happy to be here.
Okay, we're toning it down right now.
I'm really happy to be here.
Yeah.
And in this stage of my career, genuinely.
What, just here?
Just in this place, in this room with you guys.
Yeah.
No, like I was at Glastonbury at the weekend, at Isle of Wight the weekend before, and
talk your shit. Come on.
And the tents were packed, but not only packed, people couldn't get in for like almost like miles around. So and I'm like, I'm doing something right, you know. I'm there's a lot of people. I watched most of the highlights of Glastonbury. Like I just skipped through the big acts. Everyone, no one's got any chat, no one's got any stage presence, no one's got any energy. Everyone's just like the Arctic Monkeys are there, just like. And he's one of the best songwriters of the last 20, 30 years. They're a really tight band, musicians. But they're just like, but you know what? I'm not happy to be here. I can't wait to go home. And then in between songs, all right, guys, we having a good time. Oh, I'm so unhappy to be here.
But I feel like nowadays, though, if
enjoy your job.
Yeah, I feel like nowadays, if someone's just got like a little bit of personality, people are like, "Oh my God, ain't they mad?" And it's like that with
Fucking hell, I tell you what, I saw them eating a Twix the other day, bro. Fucking hell, mental, bro. And they only ate one finger and get rid of the rest. Mental.
It's around all like and saying like Jack Grealish. Everyone's like, "Fucking hell, isn't he a boy?" And you're like. Bro, all footballers in the 90s were like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like he's only 10% Gascoigne. You know what I mean? He's about 20% Robbie Fowler.
Exactly.
And I'm like, everyone should just be lads. Like, no one's having it. Like, everyone's too safe. And like most acts, like I was watching Central C, and like the clarity which we performed was great because most.
But you had a baby with him.
Yeah, but forget that. A lot of rappers don't have the clarity or MCs. Like, but then there's like he's at one level, and then there's Stormzy. Stormzy's just like. The goat, man, like the energy from that guy, the clarity, the set is just non-stop
good
bangers.
Live as well.
Lethal's good live.
Lethal done a hamstring live, didn't he?
Like Gets is amazing live.
Yeah.
But there's not many people coming through.
Krept and Conan are good.
DJ or MC or rapper who've got much energy and personality, even if their tunes are big. Everyone just seems to be on stage and just feel like they deserve to be there. And they're all just like
trash as well.
The American rappers, they're all like doing ad-libs over their own songs. They play the actual Spotify version of the song in their set and then just hype up on top of their own tracks. And then just jump around on one foot. Like, that's not performing.
Back in my day, we used to do proper performing. We used to take our tops off and jump into the crowd.
And also, cough medicine is not a drug. Like, get some proper drugs in, you Americans. Cough medicine is not a drug.
When you don't have healthcare, though, that is a drug, isn't it?
Isn't it? Yo, you got some Calpol.
Imagine that. People
Calpol's
clapping.
Nice, though.
Calpol's nice.
Calpol's nice. But you know when your mum will give you the real Calpol, the orange one? Come on, bruv. That was live. I'd bang Calpol now, you know. If there wasn't.
Should we bang some now before the next show?
Now, Calpol doesn't come in a bottle anymore.
You've got to mix it with brandy, though, or otherwise it's pointless.
No, but Calpol now comes in like these little.
Slizzerb.
Yeah, but it comes in like, you have like, what's it called? Like
little sachets.
Yeah.
What's the point of that?
I gotta be honest, I've not had Calpol for a few years.
No, someone told me about it.
Oh, yeah.
Probably because you're not 8.
Yeah. It's all right, though. Kay's mate told him about it. But, bruv, you like, what's nice is that you're so excited about festival season because you just kind of quickly
Someone has to be.
skip past it.
Because we're not going. But we are all...
I'll work it, but I ain't going to crowd.
My best part about Glastonbury is watching it on TV and going, fucking hell, they must stink.
Yeah. They
Do
do.
you get a warmth off the crowd when you're on stage?
A whiff.
Oh yeah,
A whiff.
a little bit of depending on the day that you're in.
Like I've been Glastonbury 9 times. I've played 12 sets over 9 visits.
Nice.
And
Talk your
the
shit.
first 3 times that I've been there, it was raining and it stank.
Yeah.
Like I stank. Everyone stank. It was grim. Just couldn't wait to get
Do you
out of
take
there.
shit trainers with you?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Like, and it's always funny watching roadmen arrive like when it's muddy. And just like, and they got the plastic, the Waitrose bags over the front, and they're just sliding all over the gap. Like, no, man, fuck this place, man. But like, Glastonbury in the mud is one of the worst places in the world. Glastonbury with sun is one of the most magical places in the world.
So basically,
But I reckon the best thing, I always say, like, I said this to my girlfriend when she'd never been, and I took her, I said, remember I said this, the best thing about Glastonbury is leaving.
Yeah.
And we were there from midday until like 11 p.m. And then as we left, she was just like, I'm so glad we're leaving.
But
Get
what
to a
you
warm
basically
shower,
said,
sleep
yeah.
in your own bed.
What you basically said was Coachella's better.
Glastonbury
Glastonbury is
Coachella's full of
Glastonbury in the sun's
American
basically
twats, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but imagine Coachella with a British crowd.
That would be sick.
So that's
Although, do you
Glastonbury in
know
the sun.
the problem with Coachella? They have drinking areas, so you got to like back down your drink in like the little picket fenced area. Everyone's just like there, like having selfies, like, "Hey, where's the glass? Where's the Coachella?" And then they go to walk, and they're like, "We're just gonna go and watch Jack Harlow." And then someone's like, "Hey, finish your drinks." Oh, sorry. And there's about like 80 white chicks just going clack, 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 down in their drinks.
I didn't know that.
And then you have to walk over, and there's like maybe 50,000 people watching the headliner. Not a drink in sight.
That is a
better.
recipe for
So they're all
disaster, though,
battered.
because they're banging drinks. Like, they'll be like, I'll have one more before I go.
So
And
there's
then by the time you get to the
alcohol
stage, you're
British,
fucked.
but I
Yeah.
think that's better because in British culture, like you just see someone dash something up in the sky and you're like, is that piss? Is that beer?
I would probably bet 9 times out of 10 that's not beer, innit?
Yeah. So it's always a bit like, what do you do? And then when you see like in the mud when they get like guys sliding around and you're like, I don't know how much MDMA you are on.
Yeah. They're
But
usually
tomorrow-
ex-military though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Tomorrow that is gonna feel like
Mad,
rough,
innit?
innit? Like
Yeah,
you like
yeah.
someo's gonna have the footage of you sliding through the mud, like
I
listening
don't
to
get it,
C6
man.
Steve.
Like
and
if
it's mad.
I get mud on me by accident, you're like, all right, whatever. You know, if you're muddy trained, but then like to actively pursue mud.
I feel like you grew up around ethnic minorities.
Yeah, I did. Well, I went to school in Wandsworth, so
Yeah, there you go.
yeah. So
I
I've
don't-
got that attitude to
Yeah.
it.
So you're still like, okay, guys, are we using toilet paper?
Yeah. No, I
Let's
don't
wash
mind.
our
I don't
asses.
mind camping, but I'm still very like, you know, like even if I'm on a field with cows and there's a mark on my. Oh man, you know, because of the culture I grew up in, the
find-
people I went to school with.
Has there ever been any moments? Because obviously you've grown up in, like you said, you went to school in Wandsworth. Has there ever been any moments? Because now you've moved to Australia, where sometimes someone said something and you're like, "Oh,
Do you
what,
know-
you were nice, but now you're racist."
Yeah, do you know
Mad
what?
racist, yeah.
Do you know what the weirdest thing is? Like, there's a generation a few years older than us. A few generations, they're all racist cunts, most of them. But the generation like my age, like I'm 41.
Yeah.
Most of the mums I meet at school, and most of them are just ignorant. They haven't grown up or interacted with many black people or Asian people.
Yeah.
And they don't really ask them about their culture. They don't know much about them. So, okay, they can do better. They should ask more questions and then try and meet more people. But the main thing is like you'll be at a school pickup and they'll be like, "Oh, you have to be so careful what you say about Black Lives Matter, don't you?" And I'm just like, "No, you don't."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, Elliot, I know you're from London and you know more black people than us, but you have to be so careful." I was like, "No, you don't have to be careful. Just be fucking aware of your white privilege and just like learn and educate yourselves." And they're like, "Yeah, but just everything's a minefield, isn't it?" And you're like, "No." And like you just pass on really simple lessons all the time.
Everything's a
Mate,
minefield.
no, like I remember there was one. So this
That's
is one of
spoken like a country that's never been to war.
like, if anyone was to say anything in my house, homophobic, sexist, racist, whatever, they'd just be out my house anyway.
Yeah.
Like, even though I was a family member, I've always had a view on that since I was you know, in my 20s. You start to become aware of people around you that are maybe a bit unsavory, and everyone's got them in all your families. You know what I mean?
So have
And
you met
like-
Lawrence Fox?
Yeah. No. So what I'm saying is, there would be something like there's a guy who I know is a big fan of NWA. He's about 34, Aussie guy.
Lovely.
And he was like, "Oh, mate, I can't wait one day to go like fancy dress. I'll go as Eazy-E." I was like, "You will not go as Eazy-E." What's their problem with blackface?
Oh my God. Yeah.
But bear in mind, there's a
yeah,
white
yeah.
Australian guy who's gone to school with loads of white Australians, and there was probably one Chinese guy in the year. So, and he's probably called Chinese Phil or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
I
like,
think they would have called him something.
so, but then you stop and you're like, "You can't do that." And they're like, "But mate, I'm just showing them how much I love them." You're like, but black people have had black faces their whole life and have had to deal with all the things that come with that. You're putting on blackface for one night and like getting drunk and think it's fun. Oh yeah. But they still doesn't really click. Like Melbourne, there's like a big Sudanese community. And
they call it Blacktown, innit? The area they live.
So there is a place called Blacktown.
Yeah,
but
like Darren was saying, like he went to when he lived in Australia, he lived in a neighborhood called Blacktown, and he's like, that's where all the Sudanese guys lived as well. So it was just mad. Like is that? Hold on, what came first?
Whenever I get in a taxi in Brisbane, if the driver happens to be African, and there's quite a lot of Nigerians and Sierra Leoneans there, and they find out you're from London, they always want to chat.
Yeah.
Because they've got friends or cousins or someone in London, and I think they feel like it's a safe place to go. And this person's from London, this white guy's from London. He's going to want to talk about culture and home and differences, whereas they don't really get that with most Australians. And I think it's because most white Australians don't know what to ask. Or they see there's a black driver and they're like, "Hey mate, how's it going? Hot, isn't it?" You know, because it's not their fault. You know, it's just it's changing though. It's just weird that it's like it's the ideal place to raise kids for me. Like outdoor lifestyle, like barbecues and football and beaches and climbing trees. Well, obviously I'll prevent them because I'm their dad, and I'll educate them. But like I look at the school and I'm like, it's a beautiful school, but it's like 96% white. And it's just the complete opposite of my school where, you know, it was like probably a third white, third black, third Asian, or whatever. You know what I mean? So it's just very different.
I'm very conscious of that. I'm like, when I know by the time I have kids, I'm going to be in a lot more of a successful position than my parents were, relatively. So how do I prevent my kids from being nerds?
You mean from the privilege that will come from you being in a good place?
Like if they because I know
they'll
my
still
kids,
be related to you.
Bro, I know my kids are going to be like, oh no, I want to oat laugh. I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? Remember when Kevin J was here and his son was like, oh, I want a side salad. He's like, what do you mean? Yeah. He was saying his son was telling him like, I want a side salad. He's like, big man, what do you mean a side salad, bro? Like,
do you know what? I still go to Pizza Express and I could be with like my friend or my girlfriend and go to order dessert. And my head instantly goes to, we can't have dessert. Because I remember when we were kids, my dad was like, we can't afford dessert. Like my dad would go, you're not having a dessert. To me and my sister, we'll get you a feast on the way home from the corner shop.
Treat.
We'll get you a cornetto. You can have a mullah. You can have a mullah light when we get it. So I still I go to people, I'm in Pizza Express.
PTSD.
And then someone goes to a dessert in my head, I go, rah, like it's chocolate sundae. Dad said we couldn't have that. You know.
That is funny.
And we go Pizza Express once a month or maybe for someone's birthday.
I'm surprised you still go Pizza Express. I thought you'd have I
like the sourdough stuff, you know, like with the burnt crust and all that, but Australia has really good pizza. They have really good food in Australia. Generally speaking, the levels are high. You don't really get a greasy spoon cafe, which you miss. But there's something about Pizza Express is quite comforting and homely. It's not the best pizza.
Prince Andrew's favourite.
Is it? Yeah. Oh, saying.
Are you fucking around?
No, remember when he said like, oh.
Remember when he said?
Yeah.
Prince Andrew, yeah?
Remember when he said it was on that interview, he was like, oh, it couldn't have been me because I was in a Pizza Express in Woking. And it was like
that really jarred you, isn't it? So why did his head go to that? What an alibi! What an alibi!
That was too specific. You know what alibi?
Yeah, Pizza Express in Woking. Like
that sounds
like,
too
do you know what I mean? You know when you're like,
yeah.
who told you that there was a pizza? Like, first of all, I don't think any member of the royal family's ever tried dough balls from Pizza Express. Like that's like
because you have to get your fingers dirty.
Yeah, bro.
Or Prince Andrew.
Oh, live it.
I just didn't believe it, innit? And then that's when he said he doesn't sweat, innit? He's like, oh, I've got this thing where I don't sweat.
Clearly.
I feel
if you're going to go into paedophilia as a career, then you don't want to sweat.
I mean, allegedly.
Allegedly. I know what he was getting at with a Pizza Express reference.
No, but he said, so I'm surprised you go Pizza Express. I thought like...
Well, not often.
I thought your palate would be like a lot more... Like, what's your best place to eat in London? Without giving... I mean, you're going to give it
I like a Dishoom.
Oh, okay. You're big on Indian, fuck. Yeah,
because he comes back here.
What's your favourite?
Oh, it all depends on the type. You know what? At the moment, I'm just into meats, you know, so it's not the fanciest restaurant.
Meats?
I
like a steak.
I'll take a flat iron steak at the moment. At this time of year. Yeah. It's not the bougiest place, but it's simple.
Have you ever been Blacklock?
No.
Blacklock's nice as well, yeah.
Blacklock is a steakhouse, yeah? There's one in Shoreditch. But they're dessert, so I know you're like,
don't worry,
you're going to get a heart attack.
That'll be my dad, basically. My dad was watching this, I was talking about desserts. He'd be like,
your dad will probably like this if you take your dad there, yeah? Because they have a white chocolate cheesecake, yeah?
Ooh, I like a cheesecake.
And they don't have a portion size. They basically just keep putting it on for you until you say stop.
Yeah, so why do you want to have a lovely meal and then ruin it by stuffing yourself with cream cheese?
Because at one point in your life, you're too poor to afford dessert.
Okay.
So now you're making
up for it.
You
can make up for all the desserts at the same time.
Right. Yeah, so you go there and then they keep going for it and they're like, are you sure? And then
But then what would Smithy say about calorie intake? Like
fuck
a
what?
calorie deficit. You know what I mean?
Actually,
I'm big on calorie deficit.
But he'd say, mate, you're out. Enjoy your fucking self.
Oh yeah, he would actually. He'd probably use the C word as well.
Yeah. Don't be a boring cunt.
Don't be a boring cunt.
Just fucking
have a little bit of cocaine once a month.
Yeah.
I'm a PT.
Yeah. So back in the day, before we got in the Colombian marching powder, that's how it started.
But go there. You'd enjoy it. You'll see that. I mean,
I like a steak. I like. I'm back. I'm here till September the 13th. But I've got 2 commutes back to Australia between them. I call them commutes because they are commutes.
There's a proper pizza place. Go
on.
And we'll take you to a proper pizza place, and we'll take you to Black Lock.
I know what proper food is. I'm just talking about Pizza Express for comforting reasons.
Yeah, but no,
I don't think Pizza Express is the best pizza in the world.
No, I know, but like I feel like I need
Franco Manca's pretty decent.
Yeah, okay, so you don't know good pizza.
Go on then, what's good pizza?
I'll take you.
Where is it?
There's one in Soho and there's one in Baker Street.
What's it called?
La Antica di Michele.
I've heard of that. Di Michele,
yeah.
That's the same place as one in Naples. I've been to the one in Naples.
Oh, you've been to that original?
There you go.
Redemption.
Yeah.
So I was just saying Franco Manca's better than fucking Pizza Express.
Yeah, it is.
Pizza Express was just about my dad not buying dessert.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, like I'll be honest, like I like a stone baked pizza and that, but once in a while, bruv, I'll take a Papa John's deep dish, bruv. I'm hooked, you know. I like it, bruv, with a stuffed crust.
I like a Domino's post gig.
So you still go to Papa John's even though he said the N-word?
What? Did he?
Did you?
Oh, fuck. Well, not anymore. It's Domino's then, isn't it? Do you know what the worst thing is? I like the
Papa
garlic
John
sauce.
said the N-word, and he was. I think it was well publicized, bro. Like he
was asleep that day,
and he basically never even apologized for it. He was basically like, "It's what
it's
it is."
Domino's. It's Domino's now, isn't it? But you know what? The worst thing is, I like the garlic sauce. You can't get that anywhere else. And
but if you go
Domino's,
I stopped going Domino's because I saw a TikTok of someone that used to work there.
Oh no.
And they were like, "There's rats in every one of them." He's like, "I've worked in 3 different ones. There's rats in all of them."
You know what though? To be fair,
he might just be the staff. I think he means the staff. My favourite being Domino's when they get the magic spray out, which you used to see when I was like 10, 15 years ago. And they would go, and then you realise you get older. It's just olive oil in a can.
Yeah, with a bit of garlic. Yeah.
What was your? Because obviously you've lived a mad life. Yeah. You've been on tour left, right, and centre. What was your biggest struggle meal?
What do you mean?
Like, you know, when like, did you ever have like corned beef and rice? Like, were you that poor that you ever had like a shit meal like that? That was your go-to?
So there was a time in about 2007, my mum, dad and sister had moved to Australia. I was meant to go with them, but I decided to stay. And then I moved in with my step-granddad. It was like 92. And like, as an ex-council house, but quite a nice house still in Fulham. And it hadn't been done up in 20 years. And I was in debt, but I was touring. I was on tour with the streets. I don't mean like a load of roadmen. I mean
Big up Mike Skinner.
Mike Skinner, the streets. Yeah.
I like Mike Skinner.
And I wasn't getting paid much. I think I had an advance that I was sort of dipping in and out of from the record label, and I was just like on super noodles and pasta and sauce quite a bit. You know, pasta and sauce.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you put too much water in, it's not. You know, it's more like
it becomes pasta and soup. Yeah.
But you have to get it just right.
Yeah.
So you became an expert in that.
And then I'd sometimes just eat like 3 blueberry Nutri-Grains for dinner.
Them ones.
Yeah.
What's the biggest purchase you've made with all the touring money, apart from a house or a car? Like, I know we'll get onto the cars in a minute because you had a massive car collection.
Yeah, I sold it all when I moved to Australia like 4 years ago. I had a Lamborghini Murcielago, McLaren 350 S. I had a Ferrari 355, Porsche Cayman GT4, and a Range Rover and a Jaguar F-Type.
What was your favourite to drive?
McLaren. I drove the McLaren nearly every day.
Whippy, innit?
It's so good. It's just like, it's so easy to drive. Yeah. It's like,
where did you keep all of these cars? Just outside?
I had an underground car park in Wandsworth where I lived. I lived in like this penthouse, and then I had like 5 spaces downstairs, all underground, all secure.
You have lived so many lives.
And then I sold them all to buy my house in Australia.
Yeah.
So I moved from like a really nice 4-bedroom apartment with 4 balconies off each side and 4 bathrooms. It was me, my ex-wife, Erin, mother of my kids, and 2 little ones. And we went to Australia, and we just like, Australia's banging. Like, we'd obviously been going back and forth, and she's from there. But we got back there and we were just like, no, this is the life. So I sold this place in Wandsworth, and then like for like bought this like palace in Brisbane, like this unbelievably like architecturally beautiful house with a pool and sauna and 5 bedrooms and 5 bathrooms.
You're the most humble guy I know that lives in a mansion like that.
Are you done with the car
You're
stuff
like
now?
one of the
I'm done with the car.
You're one of the only people I know that lives in a mansion like that. So
Aussies don't. I mean, it's still like it's a massive house. I'll show you pictures later, but it's like it's on a residential street. And my neighbours on this side are 2 meters away, and my neighbours that side
What
are
are
like
they,
3 meters
dentists
away.
and that?
No, this side's owned by the church, so they're all actually quite nice. Like, they're all like renting people. They're all really sweet. Like one's an architect and one's a nurse, one's a delivery driver, and the other side's a family of 6 who are all just are really noisy whenever the rugby league's on. The footy's on. Fucking get in, come around. So they're only noisy on like Tuesdays when there's a match.
Yeah.
But it's a wicked area. It feels like a nice family, like community. And I didn't want to live with like a big garden, a load of land, and not know my neighbours because it's like too different from growing up in London.
Yeah,
it'd be the complete opposite. But yeah, like in terms of big purchases, I've never bought diamonds and stuff apart from an engagement ring for my ex, and you know she's probably sold that now, and that's fine because we're still friends. But
so you never made any outlandish? I mean, in cars.
I mean, bruv, I believe that list of cars was rather outlandish.
Two of those cars I made money on: the Mercy and the Ferrari. I made money on, and then the Cayman GT4, like for like. The McLaren I lost shitloads because you know you pay like 185 grand for them, and then like 4 years later they're worth 80.
Yeah.
But then I had a Range Rover deal and a Jaguar deal, so I used to get a free Range Rover and a free Jaguar, which was nice.
Just like dailies.
But no, I've never bought anything stupid, really. My dad would say that some of the art collection I've bought, but most of my art's like, you know, some of it's like gone up like 10 times. It's
so you just got like a Rembrandt just chilling.
No, not a Rembrandt. I've got a nice David Bailey of Mick Jagger, like David Bailey, the photographer from Bethnal Green, who shot all the Cray twins and all that, and the Jack Nicholson and everyone in the swinging 60s. I've got a Mick Jagger one of his, which has just gone up crazy money, which I've got in storage. Like,
he said that quick. It's not in the house right now, guys.
But no, like that's the sort of thing you could, you know, like loads of people are a bit funny about art, but I think the best way to think about it is just buy what you like, and whether it's like $1,000 or $100,000 or whatever, the first time you dip your toes into art is like, oh my god, I'm buying a piece of paper. Like for that amount of money, it feels different to buying a watch or a.
Is that your hobby now?
Yeah, I've got like about 40 pieces of art now, which is like I'll sell them one day and that'll be my retirement. Or if there was an emergency, or if you know there was I get cancer, I need to spend a meal on
your children need to go uni or something.
My children need to go uni, or I need to buy my kids a house, or like if there's apocalypse, I need to get on a private jet to go and get on Noah's Ark in Finland. Do you know what I mean? You seen that film?
He knows something we don't know, innit? Because he's like, jokes.
I like art.
Check if he was on the flight log.
Art's just like, if you get the right art, it's a currency.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, where everyone gets hyped about Bitcoin and shit like that, you buy the right piece of art, it's never going to go down. It always will only go up. Like Jay-Z, you know, he raps about it and talks about his interviews where he's like, he buys a Basquiat for like $1 million, and then a few years later it's worth $2 million, and a few years later it's worth $4 million, and now it's worth $8 million. If you buy a Basquiat or a Warhol or, you know, the right print or the right artist or Damien Hirst, even if it's one of 500, you spend 40 bags on it, a few years it'll be worth 80 bags.
So you've been very sensible throughout your whole career. Like, where did that come from?
I've done some stupid things. Like I've had fun and splashed, you know, like I've only been on a private jet. I know it sounds stupid, but I'm saying compared to my peer group, maybe
no, but that's what I mean. Like
15 times, and that would have been. And I'm bearing in mind I've done like 1,400 gigs. Yeah. There's a lot of people who get private jets between every gig.
Yeah,
and like they're getting maybe 60, 70 bags for the gig, and then they're spending 15, 20 on the jet. I've only done it when I've had to do 2 gigs within a day, and the only way to get there was on a jet. So those to me, sometimes even when you pay them like 15, 20 grand to fly 2 hours, in my mind I'm like, this is really annoying because it's like not how I treat money. And like carbon footprints. But if you're on stage at 2 p.m. in Milton Keynes and 8 p.m. in Switzerland, you ain't going via Luton or Stansted, you know what I mean? And you've got 10 people in the band, so you've got to get the jet. But there's too many people who are just like, new kettle every week, like jet. But
that's what
like,
I mean, like
renting houses.
Like, I've been very, because I'm always very like curious, because the amount of people that you started off with, they've come and gone. You've seen them come and go. And they look like they were like if you looked at their watch or if you looked at what they were driving or whatever, you'd have thought, oh my God, they're making so much money. But you're still here living life, performing. And like some of those people, they're dead and gone.
I think like a lot of it comes with attitude, you know, staying humble, but also staying hungry, keeping yourself in good shape. And like, you know, I love being on stage. There's some people like don't like being on stage, don't like being on tour, and that's fine. Some people just lose it in terms of how to write a song. Like some songs of mine are hit and miss, but the main thing is I make music for me and for my fans. I don't make music for radio. I don't make music for Spotify. If I can imagine performing it at Glastonbury and I can imagine 5,000-10,000 people singing it back to me, that's all I care about. You know what I mean?
Is that how you stay enjoying these gigs? Because you just mentioned you did 1,400 gigs, and you mentioned it about Glastonbury. There's certain artists that I've seen, and I've been disappointed because I can tell they don't want to be there anymore. There's loads of reasons behind it. Yeah. Like we've seen some of the best.
But also, like, you got to appreciate the mental health that comes with dealing with fame and being in front of people. I love being in front of people. Put me in front of 100,000 people. Yeah, I love it. Put me in front of 100 people in a pub. I love it. And there's like, I remember when I used to be really close to like Plan B, because me, Plan B, and Professor Green were like the white boy rappers all around the same time. And, you know, I was a bit more electronic music, and Plan B was a bit more like doing his soul thing and indie thing, and then Pro Green was obviously a bit more the battle rapping world and a bit more edgy and street and more punchlines. But we were all really good mates, and like we used to hang out every now and again. And I always remember, you know, like we all were dealing with fame, and we all had in a different way. We all had different approaches to drugs and alcohol, like, you know, be it weed or cocaine or MDMA. We all had like slightly different upbringings, but that's a perfect example of like, you know, Plan B loved being in the studio. Like he would live in the studio. He'd be there for like a week or two.
Wow.
And he'd be in there from like midday, and he'd work till 2 a.m. And he'd by the end of it, he'd have 40 songs, and they'd all be amazing.
Wow.
And like, but you probably knew that most of them weren't ever going to come out because the record label ain't going to release like 4 albums in a year.
Yeah.
But he just loved being in the studio. And then I remember him sort of like, oh, you got to go on tour now. He'd be like, oh, fuck, I don't really like. Whereas I just wanted to be in the studio for an hour, write a hook, write a verse, or maybe 2 hours tops. Get me the fuck out of the studio.
I want to go Pizza Express.
I can't wait to get Pizza Express, no dessert.
Yeah.
And then I just couldn't wait to get on tour and perform.
Are you still like that now?
No, it's different now because every time I'm away, predominantly my gigs are in Europe. 90% of my income's Europe, and 90% of that's probably UK, Ireland. So every time I'm here, it means I'm away from my kids. So I just have to come over, back to the UK for 3-4 weeks, go back to UK, Oz for 10 days, see my kids, come back here 2 weeks, go back to Oz for 7 days.
Do you ever keep in contact with Pro Green?
I chat with Pro quite a bit. I mean, like I bump into Plan B every now and again because my manager was like, he looked after him. He was like, he guided him. He was like his sort of father figure, and like gave him his first publishing deal for songwriting. So Pro Green feels like my brother. Like I might not see him for a few years. Every time I see him, like we've never fallen out. I'm probably one of the only people Steven's never fallen out with.
Do you know what I find fun? Like, because if you look back at, like, that's one guy, who looks completely different to when he started. When he first started, he looked like he was damn near homeless, and like now he's like he looks like he should be made in Chelsea. No, Steven had a tough upbringing, man. Yeah. Like I don't
think he had any dental care most of his life, and then like, when I met him, his teeth were in every direction, and then he went and had all his teeth done when he signed for the major label. But I honestly think he's one of the best rappers we've ever had in the UK. Like,
you genuinely think that?
Like he's so clever. Not even some of his hits.
Because he started battle rapping, innit? That's how he started.
I think there's very few rappers who would come up against him and win in a battle because he's just like, he's too quick. He's almost like a stand-up, the way that he reacts to a heckler.
Yeah.
But
you ever tried stand-up?
Yeah, I did about 20 gigs.
Really?
Yeah, back in 2005.
First time I met him, he was like, yeah, I did stand-up. But I looked at the money and I was like, this is fucking shit.
Do you remember saying that? Yeah. Mate, so check this.
And then I was just like, yo, thanks for shitting on my dream.
I was at the Q Awards. Maybe would you know the year? 2016, 2017?
It was 2017. It was around that time.
And I was sat with Sheeran. It's the only reason I was at the Q Awards because Sheeran invited me. And the table next to me was Liam Gallagher, and then Skeppy was over there, and then Storms was over there. And Skepta, this was when Skepta was releasing that album where he was like proper breaking through as like a rock star, you know what I mean? Like selling big numbers, and like he blew up, even though he'd been around for like 20 years. And Storms was just sort of coming through with like maybe the freestyles.
Do you know what?
I mean?
I'll put up some of the stories from that night on the Patreon.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll put up some of the.
I'm leaving the Roundhouse. Was it the Roundhouse? Yeah, the Camden Roundhouse. Yeah. I got Liam Gallagher's like, yeah, mate, calm down, we're having a little pop. Yeah, so, a couple of Swifties, he probably means that. So I was like, yeah, kind of want to go there. And then Storms is like, where you going? Come. We've got to go see Mo, innit? And then like we all bowled down to like Camden Lock or something.
It was
the stables.
Yes.
And there's about 200 people in there, 150 people. And he's the support act.
Yeah.
And Mo Gilligan's the headliner.
Yeah.
And the back row was like Skepta, Stormzy, me, Jammer, maybe, I don't know, 2 or 3 other like MCs or DJs from like...
It was a lot of Boy Better Know was there.
Boy Better Know.
Yeah, a lot of Boy Better Know was there.
And he was, as we arrived, he was on. I was like, this guy's sick. I was like, I haven't seen a guy that talk about shit that I know for... And I knew who Mo was, but I didn't. No one really know. Like he was doing like 36-day tours.
Shit.
And then after the gig, we were all like having videos and drinks and stuff. Stormzy was pretty licked. I remember.
It was
Everyone was pretty bad.
Night,
it was quite fun because we'd been at awards all day.
Yeah, so they like Mo had literally come from the awards. I think he was giving out an award and he came and he literally done a tour date.
Right.
That like so it was fun. Like I was like, where did all these people turn
I remember
from
Mo
here?
saying to me, he was like, because he was like, what are you saying, Storms? What are you saying, Skip? And he was like, what are you doing here? And I was just like, I'm just rolling with them, innit? I've been at awards. He was like, I didn't know you rolled with them. I was like, I do today. And then he goes, I tell a joke about, like the fuck, when he does his gazes, he's white builders, like, all right, mate, yeah. He goes, for some reason, whenever I see white builders, like they're always listening to Example. So whenever he used to do a lot of his sketches on his Insta as he was blowing up, he'd always have like kickstarts or watch the song come up in the background. It's just like, do, 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 do. What, babe, come up, like, and I was just like, that's my guy.
It's funny looking back on those moments because it's just like that. Like at the time, I was like so new and stuff to it, so I was like, oh my days. How do I act, bruv?
Yours seemed like really well rehearsed though. It was good. It was sharp.
Yeah. No, but like as in
you didn't seem as relaxed as you are now on stage.
No, of course not. No. There wasn't at all.
I knew he was going to be massive, Mo. Like you could just tell. It was just
and
like,
he knew I'd be like lukewarm mid-tier.
No, but you know what I loved about it? It reminded me of when I was a kid and I used to watch Lenny Henry. Yeah. And Lenny Henry was obviously doing a lot to appeal to a white audience and was very rarely allowed to do his stuff for black audiences. He's obviously later in life has been able to do that more and obviously talk about it more. But what I liked about Mo is he was doing stuff for everyone. Yeah.
He's got star quality.
Like, you know what I mean? It was very inclusive.
He's got star quality. But
it's like, I'm going to appeal to white people and take the piss out of you and you're going to laugh, but I'm also going to educate you on stuff that you know about that you wouldn't know about how black people live and so on. And I was like, I hadn't really seen that before. And it wasn't too edgy or scary.
It's quite a nuance to rinse somebody and have them enjoy it as well. But that's the key. Like if someone's rinsing me and I'm laughing as well, I think that's like some of the best comedy.
But the thing is, Mo is an intensely likable person, right? And that stems from the fact that he's actually such a nice guy as well when you meet him. And he's intensely likable on stage. So everybody that sees him and watches him wants to be his mate.
And you feel like his mate.
Yeah, exactly. And
there's that, even when I spent time with him off camera, because like when he was doing his show for Channel 4, he belled me and was like, we're putting a pilot together. So I just turned up and I knew it wasn't going to make it on TV, but I was like, I felt like I've been in school with him. And he was after like, and we did like something like some little carpool karaoke type piss tape thing. And afterwards he was like, mate, I can't believe you come down and given me like half your day for my pilot. This ain't even going to be on TV. And I was like, bro, I feel like I'm at school with you. That's the best thing I can say. He was like,
It's but that's good. Like people remember.
He still ain't invited me on his show yet. No, to be fair, he actually did, but I was in Australia and I went flying back for that. No offense. Australia's like I like my getting. I'm not getting 40 hours on a plane to be on his show.
So, bro, you're on this fitness thing now. I've noticed you've been on it for a while. Like you've really been hammering the fitness, bro.
I've always been into fitness, but I would always do fitness in between getting messy at festivals.
Yeah.
I just pace myself and pick and choose moments. Like I did the first 6 gigs of this summer. I've done 9. I've got 22 to go. And the first 6 I did sober, pretty much, like maybe a beer on stage.
Yeah.
Oh, do you not touch a lot of that stuff now?
No, I'm way more like, Glastonbury was a bit more leery, but I'm just looking after myself more. I just want to be alive to see my kids grow up. I want to be more present on stage as well.
So yeah.
And so I used to just train really hard, like 3 days a week, go to batter it, like just like bare reps
CrossFit.
And all that sort of style training. And now I just sort of go and it's a lot more slow and controlled. And I do a lot more conditioning, strengthening my knees and ankles. And at
knees
home,
over toes guy.
Yeah, he's wicked. And then I got a sauna and ice bath at home in Brisbane.
Nice.
In the garage. So I do that. I do an ice bath every morning.
Did you see the clip
5 degrees for 2 minutes.
You know this is an ongoing thing with Kay, an ice bath, by the way.
Yeah, no, because you don't show the fact that you do ice baths, which I fucking respect.
Because everyone else is like, you might as well be a vegan, innit?
Yeah. I'm waiting for people to put that in their profile. That's how you know it. Ice bath. Yeah, hashtag ice bath.
Like, I did my list of festivals at the bottom. It's like, I'll be using ice baths in between these festivals.
Yeah. like you put it next to dietary requirements.
I honestly, it's been life-changing for me. I went for a full body checkup about a month ago.
And they said, have you been doing ice baths?
No.
Is that where the doctor...
They do all sorts, mate.
Did you get a prostate checked?
Of course. I had prostate cancer a few years ago.
I was going to say, all joking aside, get your shit checked out, innit?
Mate, my doctor was like, he's looked after me for about 12 years, and he knows all the shit I've put in my body. Yeah, private guy, and he's really sweet.
Has he even supplied some of the stuff that you use? That's a good doctor, innit? Because you don't want that
he
shit.
Goes, he said that like 10% of men between 30 and 50 go and get checkups. Like women, it's more like 60. But he was like, most men are discovering these things in their 50s and 60s, sometimes earlier, because they're just either too lazy or too scared to just go and take their kit off. And
listen,
I've had all the tests, and the guy, he basically said you're in better shape at 41 than you were at 31.
Really?
It was like your blood pressure, your heart rate, your thyroid, your testosterone, your lung capacity.
Yeah.
Everything's better. So he was like, you're aging backwards. So just whatever you're doing, keep going. I was like, ice baths and saunas. And even he was like, oh yeah, another ice bath, sauna guy.
Yeah.
But I do it every morning, and it's the dopamine levels go through the roof. Like,
how long do you spend in it?
Like it's usually 5 or 6 degrees, and I do 2 minutes in the morning. But I was watching this guy the other day, right? And that's his real shit. It's the science. Like you have some alcohol, and then like that first hit of alcohol, say you go up on the graph like that, right?
Yeah.
So sort of like your happiness levels and like your buzz. And then your brain's like, I need more alcohol, more alcohol. As every time you have more alcohol, you'll never reach that happiness point up there. Like, so the next pint down, you're there. Next pint down, you're there. Next pint down to the point where you're absolutely battered, and then you go below where you started. And that first hit lasts 15, 20 minutes. Cocaine's like 5 minutes. And then every hit after that, you're never going to reach that level there. It's always just, whereas you get in an ice bath, 0 degrees, 5 degrees, whatever, a minute, 2 minutes in the morning, dopamine through the roof, your happiness and that buzz up there, 3 hours.
Really?
Caffeine, half an hour, alcohol, like 20 minutes, cocaine, 10 minutes. You never reach that there. And then
so anybody with an addictive personality pretty much is going to get hooked on this shit.
Yeah, of course. Which is me.
Yeah.
Are you sometimes double ice bathing then in a day, yeah?
Like, so I'll do sauna and ice bath.
It's like units.
I'm just
how many
imagining
units of alcohol you have, doctor? Yeah, well, you got.
No, but I get in there, even if I'm bad night's sleep, it clears hangovers.
Okay.
But the main thing is just like, I get in there at 5, 6 a.m. The kids are still upstairs on their iPads usually. And then I get out, and then I am buzzing for 3 hours. I don't think about coffee. I don't think about what's ahead, like, or any form of like depression or worry, anxiety. Completely gone.
I'm imagining him in like on tour, like in Newcastle or something, just going like, what's the matter? Like, I need a fucking ice bath.
I put the shower on the coldest setting. It just wasn't cold enough yet. It's not cold enough, bruv. I had a cold shower.
You do know after about a week of doing them like maybe 3 or 4 times, you'll notice.
How long do you stay in there for?
Just like a minute or 2. But then in the evenings on a recovery day, not a day I've trained, I do like 6, 7 minutes sauna, 1 minute ice bath, 6, 7 minutes sauna, 1 minute ice bath. Like he's in and out.
They do that in a lot of Eastern European countries. Actually, they'll like go roll in the snow.
But that's easier. But that's easier. Like I went to a spa where they had like a.
They're called Russian banya.
Yeah,
Russian banya, okay. And they batter you with leaves or branches.
That's a bit
get off, I kill you now.
I saw that in a Reggie Yates documentary, like where they were like proper battering him with a thing, and he was just like, "Oh, you do this like for fun, like kind of thing." But anyway, it was mad. We got some questions that we asked the Patreon to ask you. Right. So, are you up for that?
Yeah, well, we've got time. I guess we've got another 5, 10 minutes or something.
Yeah, a little bit of time.
I've got to do 3 other podcasts after this, haven't I?
Really? Oh, thanks, man. Right.
No, this is the only podcast this month, actually. That's my favourite.
So this is from, they've asked to stay anonymous, but it's not even a cheeky question. Okay. Which artist have you worked with in the past that you had a preconception about which was completely turned on its head when you actually worked with them?
I wrote a song with Robbie Williams about 6 years ago.
Mm-hmm. That must have been a wild studio session.
Yeah, there was so there's a guy called Johnny McDade who's in Snow Patrol, and he co-writes a lot of Ed Sheeran's biggest hits. And I met Johnny maybe 10 years ago. I actually introduced him to Ed. I'm sure Ed would have met him anyway. I'm not taking credit. Maybe I am. And he's this lovely guy from Northern Ireland, and he really quite intense in the studio with the songwriting. I get there. And,
yes.
What do you really mean by that lyric, though? You know, and then like, is that a good way to say that? And he'll just be like, and I'll be like, but you get what I'm saying? What are you trying to say with that word there? You know, is there a better word we can use? He's unbelievable. Like,
is he the guy that wrote Shape of You?
Yeah, with Ed. And he's like, Ed thinks he's amazing. He's like, if you've got good ideas, he refines them. Anyway. He
I wonder if he does comedy. I might have a...
Hey, he's like, Elliot, what are you doing tomorrow? Do you want to come and write a song with Robbie? Like, Robbie. And in my head, I'm just like,
Robbie Savage?
Yeah, Robbie Savage. And I was like, Robbie Williams. I was like, yeah, of course, why not? I mean, the song never came out, but it was an amazing experience. And like,
did you do the rap for him on that song with Kizzy Ross?
No, but I ended up doing. Yeah, we was there with him for about 7 hours. Like, stopped for a break, had food, had a few little live chats, and I was just like, he's a really deep, spiritual guy.
Yeah.
But. Complete, like, because I grew up with him just on TV and in all the papers. He's like, oh, he's shagging this bird, he's doing drugs with this person, he's in the charts.
Bro,
like,
he was in a picture I saw just chatting to Tupac at an awards
Bro, people forget the fucking levels of Take That.
He was just
Williams,
like, he's at an awards ceremony in a smoking area. He's just chatting to Tupac.
But he was a lovely guy. He's the perfect guy for that question. Like, and didn't really know what to expect. Thought he might be a bit of a dick. Like, thought he might be a bit arrogant. And I was just like, this is a really lovely, deep.
Well, he started
human.
Soccer Aid, didn't he?
Yeah.
Like, and I think a lot of people don't really.
He's good. I think he's trying to maybe put right all the mad shit he did.
I mean,
why not?
Well, he was just living though, innit?
Nothing's really come out about him bad. Like, as in, like, you know what? Like the
he's
amount
just
of
a cheeky robbo, isn't he?
Yeah. But like, you heard some stuff about cheeky chappies that were like. Really bad, innit?
Yeah.
Like, that wasn't cheeky.
He was just a bit of a lad.
No, that's manslaughter. Do you know what I mean? Like,
that's manslaughter.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? We're like, you never heard that about him, innit? Like,
that's good. Yeah, I agree.
Like, even the people that were like proper clean cut, like fucking Cosby, like everyone was like, oh yeah, he's such a nice guy. And
actual doctor, you know?
Whereas I think like my man, like he was just sort of like, I think. He was sort of just like, here's my shit out in the open, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm shagging, I'm doing this, that, the other, bruv.
Yeah, I was using drugs daily.
Yeah,
and then,
exactly.
And you're like,
but are you going to sing along to Millennium? Yes, so fucking leave me alone, innit? You're going to sing to Angels, like Rock DJ, come on, man. Like,
big tunes.
Yeah. Bro,
let me entertain you.
But,
big rhythm.
This guy, if he put all of his songs on FIFA, I'm listening to it, bro.
Like, he wrote songs for FIFA, didn't he? Yeah.
All of them songs, like anybody that says they don't listen to like, and his videos were fucking amazing, bro.
Videos,
what was the one where like it turned into like muscle, like, and
Rock DJ, where he takes off his clothes and peels off his skin.
Incredible.
And there's just like 40 pengers surrounding him, just and he was just in the middle going.
That was back in the day where you
and he weren't even like ripped. He was just looked like he looked like your mate who plays Sunday League.
That was sick as well. Yeah,
you know when there's some scores on Sunday League. That's Robbie there.
But like he was just like, you don't really get artists like that now as well. Like I mean, like the closest people, obviously, like we saw what happened with Lewis Capaldi at the everybody's like all big on mental health and that. All these artists.
Yeah, I mean it's good. But also,
I want troubled human beings again, man.
Yeah.
I feel like
I think Lewis is the right guy to be that troubled human being.
No. But I miss when people are like, oh, he's bare fucked. Like, because
I was quite like that in my heyday. About 10 years ago, I was just on Twitter, just like gunning everyone.
But
and
how
just
many
coming
number
out of
ones did you have?
I had 2.
Yeah, but there you go. Like it worked. Do you know what I mean?
6,
like whereas
3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 2. Just so I don't forget.
I miss
just
when
the top 10s, mind you. Won't go into the rest. Outside the top 10 don't count.
I miss when I saw artists and you were like, oh man, he's such a troubled soul. Like I really do miss that. Like he's a nice person, but he shouts.
And also, but most of those guys who were troubled back in the 80s and 90s, the majority, if they're not dead, the majority of them are still around. They're looking back and going, yeah, it was just stage of my life. I got on with it. Yeah. Mainly the Gallagher brothers, but now everyone's just like, I need a year off.
You're friends with Ed Sheeran, innit?
Yeah.
Right? And I think like Ed Sheeran just looks like the nicest guy ever, yeah? But I just want Ed to while out one day.
He does.
Yeah, and just like throw a chair at like through a bus or something. Like,
he does. He just don't need to go public with it, does it? It keeps it all private.
It to be. I want to see him like. Like Hardcore Holly or something like back in wrestling. Get a guitar, smash it over someone's head. Do you know what I mean? Like, have you seen what Ed Sheeran's done? Nah, like he just went wild. Someone said,
do you know what? If he did a guest spot on WWE, that would do mad numbers, bro. Because you just wouldn't expect it. Snoop Dogg, you expect him to turn up.
Do you know what the maddest thing Ed Sheeran has done? Yeah. So recently he won that court case.
Yeah.
He went outside and got on top of a car and started singing. But the dents I was seeing on the roof of this car,
buy that car. He'll buy that car.
I was like, imagine being the owner going, oh my God, that's so cool. Wait, motherfucker, that's my pickup truck.
But you've just got out of court and you got another court case. Americans will sue you for anything, man.
What, you think I want to sue him? I'll say I was in the car, bro.
That guy looked at my coffee. He looked at my coffee.
Yeah, I'll be like, I was in the car.
I looked up at the car and got whiplash. That's
but Robbie Williams is a fucking incredible answer. What was the other questions?
We got loads, but I'm going to have to...
let's do quick fire then.
Right, cool. Right, all right, here's one that's a bit cheeky. Shout out to Matthew Smith, who said, how do you feel about people asking you for pictures? And what was the most inconvenient time you were asked? A lady I worked with asked Elliot for a picture on High Street Ken, and he didn't look very impressed.
I probably had the picture though anyway.
Yeah, of course.
I believe it's part of your job.
Fucking grateful.
I think it's part of your job. As soon as you get really famous and you got a following, it's part of your job, and just get on with it and be nice to people. The quickest way to deal with it is to just be aware when people are about to ask. Yeah, cool. Like almost speak for them. You want a picture? Cool. Yeah, what are you up to today? Great. Cool. Yeah, no, what's your name? Take the phone off them. You obviously know, like, even
you have
Android.
to take the phone. That's the trick, innit?
Androids, whatever. I even know they're weird things. And then and then take it for them. And then if they're like, cool, we have on it. No, we're having a group one. I don't know her. All right, you can airdrop it after I'm gone. I'm in a rush. Make it easy for them so they don't stutter and get anxious, and make it easy for yourself so you can get to where you're going. Absolutely. And I think it's part of your job. The thing that pisses me off is when people film me with my kids, or if they film me eating. Because I don't like the stuff with the kids is just really rude, and the stuff with the eating is just like, just wait for me to finish and ask for a picture.
Yeah.
Like we got like, I'm in Wagamama's going like bear katsu sauce, and then it's like I'm on the other side of that.
Fucking hell, example was in Wagamama eating katsu curry for dessert.
The best one is when you like, and it's happened a few times, is when like something you see someone and I'll be like, you got a sixth sense shit, and I was like, there's a fucking idiot over there filming me, like in Nottingham Nando's or something. And then as you leave, they go, hey, example, mate, can I have a quick photo of it? Yeah, it's all right. And I'm like, yeah. And then like, I get the camera, and then I'm like, you're filming me eating, innit? And they're like, no. I'm like,
look at it.
Why are you filming me eating? I'm just going to delete this, and then we'll have a photo. And he's like, all right, yeah. So I'm delete, and I go, recently deleted, delete again. Right, let's have the selfie.
And you're like, bro, what are all these dick pics?
Right. Hey, let me just airdrop that still. It's looking kind of gnarly still.
Like, all right, keep your phone, mate.
What's the next one?
No, but I got a question on top of that. Where is just 100% no for a picture? Because I feel like when you're with your toilet, when you're with your kids, where's just because I think people need to.
No one's really asked me in a toilet. Like people do come up sometimes and breathing down your neck. Like I've been at like Wembley, watching AJ, and someone's just coming up and they're like, "Yeah, as soon as you get out of the toilet, can I have a photo, please?" And you're like, fucking hell. And they usually gacked out their mind because the boxing fan, innit? Yeah, mate, I'll photo in a minute, yeah.
You're fucking amazing when the beat kick starts again.
Yeah, I love all that, yeah.
I used to build houses to that.
Isn't it?
So how many bricks like anyway, we've got another question. It's a repeat question. They know they're repeating the question, but they said, I've asked Marcus and Kay this and previous guests this, what do you daydream about?
What I daydream about?
Brother.
Don't say ice baths. I don't know, man. I like hammocks.
Okay.
It's often like, imagine I wanted to be in a hammock. That weightlessness of being in a hammock. I love a hammock.
Well, I've got a question. Where's the best place you've been on holiday? Because I know you've done mad holidays, man.
Bora Bora.
Okay.
Damn,
so you fly to, I went Australia, New Zealand, and then you fly to Tahiti, cross the international date line. So you land that morning.
What is the international date line?
Where the day finishes and the day starts.
It makes sense.
Say it's midnight, and then you cross on the plane, and then you cross midnight, and then as you land there, it's the start of that day back there.
Wow.
So you go back a day.
Yeah,
so you fly on Monday night and you land on Monday morning.
Time travel.
Jesus.
Yeah. So that's the international date line businesses, man. And then from Tahiti, you get a seaplane over to Bora Bora. Unbelievable. It's like an atoll, which is a volcano where it's sort of like come up and created a natural barrier reef around the island, all volcanic. So it's all like jet skis, swimming with sharks, swimming with turtles, climb the volcano, best food in the world, like paradise. Looks like Moana. You know when you see Moana, and you're just like, I'd love to live there. It's like Moana's real.
It's like untouched, isn't it? They say the beach is
unbelievable.
Like
it's not overpopulated. It's just like you're in paradise, like 30 degrees every day. And we had one of those because I was on my honeymoon.
Ooh.
We had a glass bottom a villa on stilts, and you get out of bed in the morning and there's sharks swimming under your bed, and then you have like a private butler and your own floating pool, and then you get off it, get a jet ski and then jet ski around to breakfast, and then they take your jet ski and park your jet ski.
That's rude.
That was like,
what kind of stuff were you asking your butler for?
I was just
Can you clean this cum up? I can't see the sharks on the floor.
That's the soundbite, son. That's the soundbite. That's the sound. That's our Insta. That's our collaborative post sorted.
Do you know what's great, yeah?
Fucking hell.
Do you know what's great? Didn't deny it.
No. I was too shocked.
I just can't see these turtles.
I tell you what, whatever you put on the windows.
Can you call a water ambulance? I've just twisted my ankle on the cummy floor. On the jizzy floor. That didn't happen, but it could have very nearly happened. It's honeymoon, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's what I said it. Yeah,
Back in the days of love.
If you're not doing that on your honeymoon, then
jizzing on the floor?
No, it's going in the wrong place. You want to get it? You want to get it in the other?
You want to get it on the shark. Go out on the balcony and aim for the shark.
Come on a shark's face.
God, this podcast has just gone through the roof. Fucking hell, mate.
I mean, have you ever cummed on a shark?
Came. I think it's called came on a shark. I think it's cummed on a squirrel, but came on a shark.
Okay, fair enough.
I was swimming with these sharks.
Why?
Like, because the locals were all telling me it was safe. The locals are all like Polynesians, French Polynesians. So they look a bit like
The Rock.
The Rock, yeah, exactly. Or Moana, but like a real person.
Yeah.
She's a cartoon, I think.
Yeah. And The Rock plays her dad, isn't it?
You've got to be careful now what you call them. You don't want to call them a cartoon now. But yeah, that was magical. And then like the guy was snorkeling, the guy was like, I can't remember his accent because I love accents, but I can't remember the accent, so I won't do it. He was like, swim down and touch the shark. And it was like a 7-foot reef shark and a lemon shark. And I was taking a deep breath. And then you have to blow out your nose so you don't get the pressure on your head.
This is so funny because
I can hold my breath for about a minute. And I'm down there and like the sharks just swimming in and out of you and like touching their tails. It was like...
Touching their tails?
Yeah.
What did the shark feel like? Like
really firm leather. And if you rub it the wrong way, it'll slice your hand open. Because it's like loads of the shark skin looks like millions of mini teeth. So if you pat it that way, it's like, Louis Vuitton luggage. Yeah. Wow. If you go that way, it's like, drapes.
Fuck, you know.
Really?
Yeah.
It's how they turn. That's how they turn quick, isn't it?
That's crazy because the last episode on the Patreon, I was talking about how I don't fuck with the water and the ocean.
I like.
Have you ever been going on a submarine?
I've been a submarine in the Caribbean, like one of the mini ones. But I've done scuba diving, and I've been in a cage with great whites in South Africa when I did some gigs there. So like these sort of like 5 meter long.
Was this before you had kids?
Yeah. I don't know if I do it now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
When they were like putting chum in the water to fuck with the sharks.
Pedigree chum. No, they jizz in the water and the sharks. I got my butler to do it. But on a real, no. And then I went to the Maldives, or as the Australians call it, the Maldives. Fuck off, Australians. And we went swimming with hammerhead sharks. Like on the seabed. And the thing they say is when you're on the surface, that's when you're most likely to get attacked by like a tiger shark or bull shark, great whites. Most other sharks don't really attack humans. And if you're down underwater on the same level as them, they just come and, more like little Labradors, they just come and hang out.
It's got to be on their level.
When you're on the top, you're like, penguin, sea lion, bosh, bang.
Yeah.
When you're on the seabed, they're like,
do you know what? I'm happy. I'm happy.
Friends.
I'm happy you've experienced that because I'm not.
I've swum with 8 different types of sharks.
All right, Attenborough.
Attenborough, 98 years old in with the sharks.
Like,
this one here.
Yeah, you've fucked 8 different types of sharks. People would have stopped at 1. You were like, no, bro.
Fuck it, let's do a lot.
I want to see all the races of sharks.
Yeah. All the races of sharks. Yeah, I miss the culture in London, so I'll just swap it for sharks.
Yeah. Just like,
It's just white people in Brisbane, so I've got 8 different types of sharks, though. The mum cooks are really nice. Biryani.
The hammerheads are the ones you want to look out for. They give a bit of air, bro.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
I miss Caribbean food so much. I swim with hammerhead sharks. Yeah. I think
you can't get a decent curry here. Fucking go for the shots.
Oh, I think on that note.
Yeah, on that note.
Man.
Wow, 59 minutes, 38 seconds.
Yeah. Listen.
So I've got to go and help my neighbour move. And I'm worried he's dead.
This has been an absolute pleasure, man. Thank you so much for coming.
He's not dead.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming. You messaged me and I was like, out of the blue, and I was like, fucking hell, like, Example wants to come on a podcast. And Marcus was like, yeah, bring him on, bro.
You've had a bigger guest than me. And last time we did a podcast, he didn't even post it.
You know,
probably technical issues, isn't it?
Nah, it was at a time when things were a little. There was a lot of tension in it, and I remember, real talk, you was getting some aggro online, and then I sat down and I was like, you know what?
Probably best.
It was a
Was
good
that when you said the
podcast. No,
racist
it was a great. Yeah,
Huh?
oh, bro.
Fuck off.
He went off. No. It was at a
Don't
time.
get into
No,
that.
you know what,
Sexist
bro?
stuff,
No, I want to
no,
know because I want to say, bro. Like example
example's not
was
racist,
right.
we're
No, he's
joking,
riding
man.
for us, bro, and he was saying some real stuff. But at the time, he was getting shit, and then I sat down and I spoke with a couple of good friends, and I was like, do you know what? I don't think we
not
should
worth
put this
it.
guy. Yeah, man, bro.
No,
For
I
you,
appreciate
because
it.
a lot of people.
Which
There's a lot
just
of
winds
podcasters
people up
out-
even more. It just
there's-
causes more
And there's a lot
chat.
of podcasters out there that will just put shit out that you say or anyone says without any regard because they want
No, I
fucking
appreciate
numbers.
it.
But
Same.
man, like, listen, I've
It
got
was
you,
like,
bro.
no, but it
Because
was,
you've got
it
us
was
as well, bro.
It was that shit with Wiley talking about anti-Semitism.
Yeah.
And I can't remember exactly what was said.
Let's
but I
not
was,
get into it.
No, it was
but
deep at the
what
time,
it was
deep
that
at
I
the time.
spent probably the best part of 3 months just like backing black people,
Yeah.
but more so just educating white people. And most of my
Yeah.
followers, obviously,
That was
was the
it,
majority
yeah.
were white. And then I was just like, it's a real shame that no one prominent in the grime community has come out to like either defend Jewish people or call out Wiley. And they just, loads of people took that as, why aren't black people disowning Wiley or standing up for, and I didn't mean black people, I meant grime community. Because
Yes.
like, as far as I'm concerned, if I'm talking about grime community, it's like, all right, majority of MCs are black, but it's just not a white,
But you were
black or
talking
an Asian
about
thing.
socks.
So, yeah, I'm just talking about, that's
no,
a
I'm
massive
playing, yeah.
industry. No one's calling out Wiley.
Yes.
And then
I
obviously it was
think
a
at the
heated
t- yeah.
debate. And I was like, fucking, last week I'm arguing with racist white people. And this week I'm arguing with black people about Jewish people. And I was just like,
Just stay off Twitter.
yeah. So I had a year and a half off Twitter.
Yeah, I just tweet
But
about
say
Love
for-
Island.
Big
I
up.
appreciate
just
that.
tweet about
But now
Love
I've got you,
Island.
Because it's
Cool.
what we got into. But at that time, if that had come out, it probably just would have spiraled out of.
Yeah,
And
like I
would have
said,
had no.
yeah, without naming names, there's people out there that would love to put that shit out and just fucking throw some petrol on the fire.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I ain't about that life.
Yeah. No, but
But
honestly,
anyway,
man, it's
should we
been
keep
a-
those other bits in it? Yours,
Yeah,
Cardo.
yeah.
Fucking put those out as well. Yeah?
all the stuff about sharks and that. Listen, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Example hates sharks.
Yeah.
Example hates white
The
sharks.
shark community, bro. They're gonna be
Shark
there.
community.
They're gonna be there for you.
Stop example coming on us.
No,
there you go.
yeah. But no, honestly, man, it's been a pleasure. You've always
Same.
been very supportive. I genuinely mean this. Like, it's wonderful to see somebody with your level of success that stays so grounded.
Thanks, man.
Like, even though you've been to like Bora Bora, you still like come back to the ends, and I respect that.
Safe,
Like,
man.
so yeah,
man.
it's wonderful.
Just be a
Bora
good
Bora
human,
to
innit?
Pizza
Just be a
Express.
good human. It's not hard.
Where can people find you? You've got a show in February, don't you? In
I've
London?
got a UK tour, which
Yeah.
is being announced in August, when we're doing 17 gigs.
Where do we get tickets for that?
It'll just be through my website.
Example.
example.com, yeah.
Or just follow me on @example, innit?
Yeah, yeah.
Try this for example.com.
Yeah.
You know, it's clever, innit?
Nice.
And then if you look on my page, I've got another 20 festivals for the rest of the summer.
What's your favourite one coming up?
I think Creamfields is going to be good fun. Just
Didn't
because
they
the
already
crowd
have
are
one?
always loose. No, there's Creamfields South in Essex. And then the main Creamfields is up in the Wirral.
The
Between
OG one.
OG one.
yeah,
like,
yeah.
sell out every year.
Wirral.
I'm playing Wirral, yeah.
The
Like
Wirral.
feature.
Yeah, that's
More
it, yeah,
accent.
yeah,
So
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
rules.
I'm
So
going to be
fucking rules
playing
over there.
the main stage in Creamfields this year for the first time in 11 years.
Heavy.
The careers have been like all over there.
Yeah, it
Nice.
don't matter though, bro. Like the
Yeah,
beat
if I'm
kickstarts
here
again.
another 10 years, that's all that matters, isn't it?
What's your quick fire and then we'll fuck off. What's your favourite song you've ever done?
It's slowly becoming Kickstarts. Kickstarts is like,
Yeah,
here we go. Chase the Way You
come
Kiss Me was number 1. Kickstarts was number 3. But Kickstarts seems to be like
That's you, bruv.
That's my calling card.
That's you, yeah.
Fam.
yeah.
Everyone
yeah.
seems
The
to pick that
pioneer
one.
of talking singing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
In a bit later.
All right, say.